There are tens of thousands of stories like this, of grown men and women lost in the world who are saved by their dogs. I am a scientist, a geneticist whose research has concentrated on the human past and our own evolution from upright ape to master of the universe, or so we like to think. It was a natural step for me to wonder at the equally remarkable parallel evolution of the dog that has been so closely tied to our own. However, and it is best that I come clean right from the start, I am not a dog person. I lay the blame for this unfortunate disposition squarely on the muscled shoulders of the Hound of the Baskervilles, a huge boxer living down the road from my childhood home in southeast London. From the age of 7, my route to school took me unavoidably past its house, and every day, without fail, the huge beast flew at the gate, ears flat back on its enormous head, snarling and gnashing its teeth. It was as if the hellhound itself had materialized in the London suburbs. Many decades later, when it was suggested I write a book about the evolution of dogs, the memory of the hound came flooding back. "I can't possibly," I answered feebly. But as the weeks passed and I began to do a little research, I realized just how fascinating a subject it was, and how extraordinary is the everyday sight of a person walking his or her dog. Here was a highly evolved primate and a savage carnivore, whose ancestors were once mortal enemies, living side by side as if it were the most natural thing in the world. My re-education has only gone so far, so please, dear reader, don't expect childhood recollections of playful puppies racing across sunlit beaches, or heart-wrenching accounts of how, had it not been for little Bella, I would have been unable to get over the loss of my favourite aunt. My starting point does at least allow me to be objective, even though I feel a little uneasy in being the only author of a dog book that I have come across who is not hopelessly in love with them. Once a Wolf is primarily a book about the evolution of dogs and the forces that drove this astonishing transformation from a fierce and wild carnivore to the huge range of comparatively docile animals that is the domesticated dog. It is also about the other side of the equation, how it was that our own species, Homo sapiens, an equally aggressive carnivore, formed such a special relationship with what, on the face of it, is a most unlikely ally. Once a Wolf contends that this is more than just a story of the subjugation of one species by another, but a shining example of the co-evolution of two species to each other's mutual benefit. Indeed, I conclude that this co-evolution was one of the vital steps in helping Homo sapiens gain the upper hand in the competition with other human species, such as Neanderthals, and to expand in numbers from relative obscurity towards the overwhelming numerical superiority and influence that we enjoy today. The scientific substance of the book draws on the rich detail of the genomes of both dog and human that has accumulated over the past 2 decades. Thanks to these advances, we are able to make out clear patterns in the distant origins of both species, resolving questions that have puzzled scientists for over 2 centuries. I also explore the history and practice of breeding and its influence on the health and the welfare of pedigree dogs. In parallel, I explore the breadth of this special relationship between man and dog, including interviews with the owners of many different breeds, as well as the lengths some will go to immortalize their favorite pet through cloning. As I mentioned a few pages back, we think nothing of seeing a dog and its owner walking together along the street. Yet, how did this everyday scene ever come about? We have long suspected that dogs descend from wolves. We know that the distant ancestors of today's dogs formed close bonds with us a long time ago, and there is a multitude of theories to account for our compatibility.